If you're looking to live somewhere where you can explore all of DFW, you move here to M3 Ranch.
That's right. This one is checking all the boxes. We've got a beautiful community. We've got shopping nearby. It's in a good location for all of it. Good schools, you name it. Amenities, all amenities are on the way. We'll get to that in a bit.
Well, today we're going to explore starter family homes all the way up to multi-generational monster houses.
Let's go.
We're starting off strong with one of my absolute favorite builders, and I can't wait to show you guys this because this is crazy. I've never seen one small thing cost somebody to completely remodel a kitchen, but I think they did a great job. So let's take a look at this. So first off, everything this builder does is beautiful. You're gonna love this house. But before we get to the rest of that, we've got a office space here off of the entryway. Work from home has become such a staple here in Texas that these are a necessity. Right next to your powder room, as well as a couple of coat closets. Easy storage, easy access to the bathroom and workspace as soon as you come into the house. Continuing down the hallway, you've actually got a theater as well to your left. These are really nice. I've seen these as very popular options for a lot of people, especially if you got kids. Added privacy and just some way to shut off the noise while you're watching a film that may be outside their age range is a must. This is going to be your garage entrance. Right now that's a sales office because it's a model home, so don't worry about that. But that's where you'll be coming in if you drive into the house. You've got a linen closet as well as a laundry room here, right across from where the kids are going to stay. So all the mess is in one area. So this is actually a 3/4 bath. For those of you that don't know, it's a little bit between a full and a half bath, which means it just has a shower, no tub, but that's all the kids really need. You've got Timmy and Jimmy's room right here. Both are about 11 by 11, so decent sized rooms for a kid, but not too much room for them to make a project or anything in the room. They'll have to take it out into the living room here, which we're about to walk into. And one of the first things you see as soon as you come into this living space area, actually the counter from the kitchen actually extends right past the hallway. And I know for me, the very first thing I would do as soon as I come off of work, keys would go there on the counter. My girlfriend would hate that, but that's the reality of the situation I live in. And plus I'd have the coffee machine set up over here. So you got plenty of room for all the appliances here in the kitchen, which is absolutely beautiful. And guys, they remodeled this entire thing to be modernized because of this one small thing. I lied, two small things, but one of them's way more minor. The first thing, the reason they changed all of this from the old setup to the new is because they got new appliances, specifically this one right here. Now this is some super califragilisticexpialidocious of a oven here that does everything from cooking or baking to broiling to convection to, it does pizzas, air fry, it'll set up a doctor's appointment for you, everything and then some. And on top of that, they did an upgraded burner here. Both of these look really nice. They're some high-end Frigidaire gallery, but they saw that and they're like, no, we're not putting these in an old looking kitchen. So they went, updated everything, painted these the new trendy green color. That seems to be what's in. Honestly, it looks beautiful. And nothing sells houses quite like kitchens or good deals. And you don't want to be the guy who bought a house top dollar just for your neighbor to buy the same thing for about $100,000 less because you didn't know what it was worth. But luckily for you guys, we walk a lot of these houses. We know what's worth what and what's not worth anything. And that's the kind of area knowledge you get whenever you do all of this stuff. So you want to lean on that to make sure that you're not getting, hosed. Over here, we've actually got the master, so let's check this out real quick. Tucked away over here, away from all the hustle and bustle of the rest of the house, you've got the master bedroom. Now, for reference, this is a king-size bed, and it's a pretty average-sized nightstands. Plenty of room on either side, plus you got these bay windows over here, making it feel even longer. One thing you will note about this house here is this is actually a 50-foot lot, which means it's 50 foot wide from the road. And you'll notice this master bedroom, while it's very deep and feels spacious, it's a little narrow. Not too much where you're struggling to get through it or anything. Me and Tom are navigating just fine, but we are going to look at some bigger lots. So if you need something with a little more breadth to it, don't worry, more's coming later. So right through this 8-foot tall farmhouse door, you've actually got the master bathroom. Again, it's galley style, his and hers vanities, frame shower glass mirror, all looks beautiful. I want to ask the lady something real quick because this is a little makeup nook here, tucked into your countertop. How many of you guys actually use this for makeup? I never actually see anyone do it. I don't have a ton of experience with makeup nooks, to be perfectly honest, but I feel like this is more of a trendy thing. I want to go ahead, put it in the comments. Let me know how stupid I'm being, or if this is it's just a fad. Anyway, across from all that, you've actually got a standing tub, looks beautiful next to this hexagonal tile. And one thing that doesn't really catch your eye, but still looks great, the shower. And the reason it doesn't catch your eye, this is all frameless shower. There's no silver trim or anything that gets in the way. It looks really nice and clean. Plus it's just a staple piece nowadays. Like, who doesn't have a frameless shower glass? This is some bougie stuff right here. Next, we've got your water closet over here. That's toilet for the non-fancy or non-bougie people. You got your linen closet on this side, and then you got your regular closet down at the end. And the theme with all of these rooms seems to be long and narrow, and the closets much more of the same. Plenty of room to walk around in, though. It's not going to feel cramped. Now, you've got plenty of space inside, and you even got a little bit of it outside. Let's go take a look at the patio real quick. So you do get a covered patio out here. It's nothing crazy, but it's got like gas tap, enough room for a little bistro set. And one thing I want to point out, so this is a 50-foot model home that can be put on either a 50-foot or a 60-foot lot. Now what they did here is they took a smaller house, put it on a larger lot, so you get a little bit of extra side yard space, makes it feel a little bit more open. But if you've got some budget constraints, or maybe you just don't want to mow all that grass, you can also take this house and put it on a 50-foot lot, so you don't have as big of a yard, and it helps save you a couple extra bucks in the process. But there's multiple different builders in this neighborhood, so stick around because the next one we're going to show you is a completely different style while still keeping it classy.
If you like counter space in your kitchen, I've got the house for you. Let's go take a look. All right, so there's a lot to talk about. Like, there's a lot going on right when you walk into this house. We'll get to that here in a second. First, I want to talk about this. And also there's so much I want to talk about. I want to talk about the location, why this is so popular here in Mansfield, what they have going on. But first, this room. So a lot of times you see an office, I love the way that they set this up. They've got their desk set up back here. I mean, honestly, who needs a room this massive for one desk to do some work at? But yeah, you've got a desk set up, and this room's so big, you've got enough room to put a small sofa in and also a TV. So maybe if you're somebody that works from home, kids get home from school, you call it a day, they've got a place to hang out. I think that's a fantastic setup. And then as we come into the house here, normally your garage ends here, you got a little mud bench, and this is really cool. This is just, it's nice to have something eye-catching in your entryway. So they've got a nice table, they've got wood beams going over the top with a couple of chandeliers. Very cool look. Of course, you got your coat closet here. And then, so we're in Mansfield today. This is, it's a very interesting area if you haven't heard us talk about it before, but they're very pro-development. There's a lot coming to this area. It's been known as really a family community since I grew up. I grew up real close to here. Anyways, this is like your guest suite or your favorite kids room because they get their own bathroom there, 3/4 bathroom. And then across the hallway here, we got a linen closet here. And then across the hallway here, we're gonna have 2 more bedrooms and a bathroom in the middle. And so anyways, and we'll show you a closet real quick. Just to give you an idea of size. I know everybody always wants to know, hey, how big are the closets? It's actually pretty good. You can walk into these things, right? Not bad. Not bad for a secondary bedroom. But yeah, Mansfield. So they're actually very pro-business here. They're trying to bring a lot of different stuff in. You have all kinds of shopping here. You have restaurants, you have an H-E-B, you've got TJ Maxx, you've got multiple grocery stores. Like, a lot of people think, oh, Mansfield, that's kind of out there on its own. It's growing, and it's growing fast, and they have room to grow. So they have plans for a lot more development coming here. And as far as the kitchen goes here, you can see wonderful setup. You've got a gas cooktop. And guys, if this is something that's important to you, this is why you hit us up. Obviously, if you guys don't know, not every neighborhood in Texas has gas. And as I've learned from cooking, gas is definitely superior as we've gotten more into it over the last couple of years. You have a pantry here, decent size. It's nothing over the top. It's better than your typical corner pantry, but it's definitely not the biggest pantry you're gonna see today. But yeah, really good use of space here. Now the island here, it's a decent size. You got enough for 3 different place setups here. So if you got a couple kids, 3 kids or whatever, they're not gonna be elbowing too much, but I know we talked about counter space earlier. Here's some extra counter space. I think this is wonderful. I love the fact they've got windows here. You get extra natural light coming in. This is something that's great if you cook a lot. I know when my wife and I are cooking, it's always like, oh, I need more prep space, because we just make a huge mess whenever we cook. But so it would be nice to have a whole extra little, I don't know, prep area, or if you're doing a charcuterie board or something like that during an event, it's nice to have this. And then this is our dining area right here. And obviously this is just one big open space. So this is, everything's open here. This comes right into your living room. And of course, you're gonna notice these big picture windows. I love the fact that they did this. So many builders will put in the windows that you can open, and let's be honest, it's Texas. It's either extremely hot or extremely cold, and on those nice days, you're not inside. You're gonna be outside walking around, going to the amenity center, all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But this leads into your master. And of course, nice tall ceilings in here. This thing is absolutely massive. Although it's not gonna be the biggest one you see today either. Golly. It's really, as nice as this is, we're gonna see nicer stuff. As crazy as that sounds. But once again, we got 4 windows across that wall, tons of space, and this leads into our master, master bathroom. And we got separate his and her vanities here. We've got a tub, opens up to your shower, and his closet, which his closet is nothing massive. I mean, it's got a little depth to it, but not super wide, unfortunately, but you know, that's his problem. And then coming through here, we've also got, I've got a beef. So just stub my toe on this thing. So I got a beef with this. Number one, this takes up a lot of space. If I was building this house, and we see this all the time, but I would do a standalone here. I think a standalone would be very nice. Something that takes up a little less space, a little more walkway here. And then also, I love the fact that they do this glass in the shower, but if you're doing that, you gotta have like some really cool accent piece over there, you know? Like, give me something cool to look at every day when I walk in. I guess, you know, if my wife was in there, I'd have something cool to look at. But anyways, this brings us into our next closet here, and also not massive, it's a decent size, right? Is this enough for you ladies? I don't know. But the one thing that's really nice about it is it does connect to your laundry room. This is something that I know people who do a lot of laundry love, because you can see you probably have a folding bench here or something, but you got your basket, you fold it, you don't have to go far, always a plus. And so anyways, let's check out that back patio before we head out to the next house. Now this is a really good spot in the Metroplex. You're only about a half hour from downtown Fort Worth, maybe about 40 to Dallas, so it kind of splits things in the middle, and it's on the south side. So if you're somebody that doesn't like an overwhelming amount of growth going on around you, this might be a good option for you. Not that there's not gonna be growth, it's just not gonna be as crazy as some other places here in the Metroplex. But as you can see, you get a nice patio here, and then this is actually the smallest lot that you're gonna see out here. So these are the 50-foot products that we've looked at, and they actually go up, as crazy as this sounds, all the way up to 80 feet wide, which is phenomenal in this area. But we're gonna show you one that's a little bit bigger than this, and it's just gonna get bigger from here on out.
I live with a sneakerhead, so I understand how important closet space really is. And if you're a person who appreciates having a place to put all your stuff, you're gonna love this home. Now this builder builds on the largest lot that they have in this neighborhood, which is 80 feet wide, which gives you a lot of room to play with, and you can feel it as soon as you walk into this nice big open entryway. And speaking of big open spaces, the master bedroom is honestly so big it looks like they took 2 regular master bedrooms and kind of mashed them together, so I can't wait to show you guys that. But immediately off to our left, we've got a flex space. Now this could be like an office like they have set up here. It could be a second or another bedroom, because it does actually have a closet, so if you've got guests and you just need a place to stick them for a weekend, it's not a bad bed. But you have a closet here off of the entryway, as well as a full bath right here, because you've got not just 1 but 2 bedrooms over here. And I know we're talking about closet space, so I want to show you guys what these look like, because if I had this closet as a kid, I'd be set. Look, I've never had a walk-in closet in a secondary that was quite this size, but I guess when you've got this much lot to work with, you can put as much house on here as you like, which is one of the perks of getting with a builder like this. But it continues as we go even further, so let's take a quick left here at the hallway, because across the way you've actually got a huge mud bench as well. So this is going to be where your garage entryway would be. You'd walk in here, you have your mud bench set up here. This is actually going to be your laundry room, which has a really nice feature that I can't wait to show you guys as well. But all of that is right next to your theater setup. Now, I thought this was interesting, and I want to get your opinion on it because this is right next to where your garage would be, which is great because the rest of your house is over there. All the noise is going to be on that side of the house, and you get a nice, quiet theater setup. But if you got somebody who's working in the garage or maybe coming and going, is that noise going to come through to the theater? You tell me if you've had a situation like that before. But over here, before we get to the living room, you do have a quick little powder room. This is what your guests are going to be using whenever you have them over. And it's right next to your oversized dining area. So if you are hosting those guests, you've got a huge dining room set up to do so in. Tons of natural light coming in from that far side. And these are 10-foot ceilings in the entryway where we were just at, but it shoots up to 12 foot whenever you come into here. So not only are you hosting, you're also providing an experience in a really grand eatery area. All of that actually connects over to your living room and dining area. So the living room area is really nice. Again, 12-foot ceilings over here. Fireplace is tucked away over there in the corner, so it's not eating up the TV space. You still get plenty of wall space for mounting everything, as well as plenty of space for these huge windows. And then over here, you've got your kitchen. I love the way they did it with the white on white. Creates a very bright, almost boho feel. It's like chic with the corners rounded off. Everything's kind of cream and white. Looks really nice. Feels very airy and open here, kind of like your stresses and everything are just melting away because you don't really have anything that you focus on here. It's all just this nice relaxing ambiance. I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. Plus with the eat-on island here, everything is just way easier to clean up. Somebody makes a mess, you just wipe it into the sink, you're done. Problem solved. But I want you guys to kind of keep this in mind because this is a pretty normal sized island for a kitchen of this size. But we're about to show you guys an inventory home when we talk about pricing on these lots that just absolutely dwarfs this thing. It's crazy. But all of this is right next to your breakfast nook area. So if maybe you don't want to set up the whole dining room soiree setup, and you can just have a little get together here with the family. Right next to these big windows, plenty of natural lights, and a lovely covered patio that we'll get to in just a second. But let's check out that master real quick because this thing is amazing. So coming into the far corner of the household, you've got the owner's retreat, away from all the noise and mess that the kids are inevitably going to make. But this thing, to call it an owner's retreat's a understatement. This thing is huge. So on an 80-foot lot, the house is so much wider than most of the other lots around here, and these guys took full advantage of it because, just as a frame of reference, that's a king-size bed with a couple of oversized nightstands, but it still doesn't feel like you're bumping elbows with anything in your household. And on top of that, they made it extra deep. Like, I don't even know what you would put in a space like this. This could just be where you keep your gilded statue of yourself because you've got such an awesome master's suite. But on top of that, you've also got the chamfered ceilings with the, vaulted ceilings with the chamfered sides. Brings everything upward and just makes it feel even more open and airy with these huge windows. And the master's bathroom is actually a really nice setup as well. I love the way they do the his and hers vanities on either side of the closet door. I think that's a great use of space. And on top of that, they continued with that light on light coloration that you saw there in the kitchen with the framed mirrors and everything. And I think this actually works out. We normally count this as a negative, but I think it's a positive because they framed the shower glass on their walk-in shower here, but since it's got that dark hardware look, it matches everything else that they've got throughout the bathroom as well. And I know the theme with this house is storage, so I wanted to point something out because you've got a fairly standard size linen closet here as soon as you walk in, but there's an even bigger one over here. So you not only get one closet or two closets, because this one's almost a walk-in, damn near, but you also get the actual master's closet. And this thing's a hoot, because watch this. This is only one half of the closet. You've already got tons of built-ins. Places to hang up your regular clothes, places to hang up your winter clothes, places to put your shoes, or I guess in this case, towels. And then on the other side of the door, it gets even better. More built-ins. He's not hurting just because she's got a huge wardrobe. He gets his own space over here. Again, upper and lower dowel rods for your hangers. Plenty of space to put all sorts of stuff over here. Maybe stick a safe in the corner right next to this doorway here, which leads into your laundry room, where you keep your brick collection, obviously. I don't know too many people who put bricks in their laundry room, but builders tend to do stuff like that. No, you'll have this is a dryer, this is where your washer's gonna go. A little bit of overhead storage here, but the best part of this is it's right next to the owner's closet, right through that doorway. So whenever you're done with your laundry, pull it out of your dryer, you walk like maybe 5 feet, put your hamper here, start hanging stuff up. Genius idea. Another genius idea is the way they set up the back patio, and I can't wait to show that to you guys too. So as we walk onto our back patio, if you've got a house this big, first of all, you likely have kids, and I know schools are important to you guys. Don't worry, this is in Mansfield ISD, which is an A-rated school district with phenomenal schools and a ton of new development coming in this direction. Speaking of new development, this neighborhood is actually working on its amenities center, so you're gonna have a resort-style pool, as well as gathering spaces and a picnic area if you guys ever wanna get out, because I know you're looking behind me like, Jack, that's not a lot of green space for the kids. Don't worry, the amenities are gonna be great, and they did something very intelligent whenever they put this together. The amenity center is actually being built at the end of phase 2. So even though this neighborhood's been here for a couple of years at this point, you don't have to worry about having a house that's a little too far away from all the stuff there is to do in your neighborhood. You can actually pick up a lot on the amenities center field today, which I know is a phenomenal deal for a lot of you guys. Speaking of which, we're going to take you guys through a tour of a inventory home by this very builder that happens to be right across from the amenities center while we talk about prices. Now we're on our way to show you guys a couple of inventory homes. Those are houses that are completely built and ready to buy today, so you can see what exactly is on the market right now in the Mansfield area. But a little bit about this area, it's a really desirable neighborhood because HOA rates here are they're less than $1,000 a year. And I know some of you guys coming in from busy places like LA or Chicago are like, Jack, didn't you mean $1,000 a month? No, I mean a year. So you're paying about $950 for everything you've seen here today. That includes maintenance of all the structures, access to all the amenities, you name it. And on top of that, you're only paying about 2.2% in property taxes every year. And I know 2.2% doesn't mean anything if you don't know what the houses are worth. So let's go talk about those prices real quick.
So we're going to talk a little bit about prices, but I also wanted to show you what something on a 70-foot lot looks like, how much space you have, what it feels like. So let's go take a look. All right, so as we walk into this house, the first thing that you're gonna notice is either these wide hallways and tall ceilings or all this blue tape right behind me on the wall. So if you're like, what the heck is going on over there? Typically towards the end of a build, you'll have a walk with the builders where you go through and kind of mark any paint touch-ups that need to be made, all the little stuff, and so that's what they've done here. This is a Jack and Jill setup, as you can probably tell by now. Got a bedroom, sink, closet back behind there. We're just showing you all this boom, boom, boom stuff, right? And then here's your other bedroom. Now these bedrooms are honestly not that big. They're probably 11 by 11, which feels a little bit small if you are looking for something with good sized rooms. Like typically when people say good sized room, to me that means 13 by 13. Usually at that size, they start to feel like, hey, it's a good amount of space. We've got our garage over here, coat closet, laundry room, and then over here, we're gonna have a 3/4 bath and another bedroom. So that's the bathroom that folks are gonna use if they're over, if you're entertaining, that kind of thing. This is one of the more popular plans by this builder, and you're gonna see why here in just a second. Number one, we've got this flex space here. So this could be a movie room, it could be a playroom, it could be an office. You have a lot of options with it, and it's right off of your living room. And in here, of course, you have these big, tall ceilings. This probably shoots up to 12 feet. Just a really good sized room, lots of natural light coming in, and it opens up, of course, to your kitchen. And there's something about it. This kitchen just seems classy. Anything that this builder does seems very classy. I don't know if it's these pendant light fixtures, if it's the way they've done the herringbone, but just all of it put together. It's a really, really nice look. You got your under cabinet lighting, all that kind of stuff. But here's, I think, what really sells this, and it's gonna be hard to see as I blow out the camera, but you have windows all the way around your dining area. And one of the things that you're gonna notice if you come out and look at these houses is the wall thicknesses are different all along these walls. And the main reason for that is for energy efficiency. If you have that many windows, you have to put some engineering into it to make sure that everything's super tight and energy efficient. Now, as far as prices go, if you're looking for something on a 50-foot lot, like the stuff we had previously looked at, those actually start in the 400s, as crazy as that is. You might find something in the high 4s, and then they're gonna go all the way up into the 6s. So just depending on how big, how many bells and whistles you put into that thing is gonna determine, how much you're paying. So one of the nice things about this neighborhood is that there's nothing here under 2,000 square feet. So these are all family size homes. You're probably not gonna get a ton of rental properties over the years, It's gonna be well maintained. That's something that you wanna think about if you're gonna be here for a good while. Obviously, we've got a closet here. There's a linen closet as well, separate his and her vanities. And that's not your only closet. You get another one over here. So this one's a little bit smaller, probably gonna be his closet. Am I right, ladies? And here's your walk-in shower, which is actually a good size. And one of the things you're gonna notice is they cut some corners here, but in the best of ways, not hitting your knee or anything on that. And speaking of cutting corners, that's not something we ever do. A lot of people think that we work for the builders. We don't, we work for you guys. And obviously, if you call us up, give us a call, text, whatever, we'd love to hear from you. This is what we do. We wanna help you find the right place and the right timing for you, all of that kind of stuff. Don't hesitate to reach out. But as far as this house goes, obviously you get some more yard space on a 70-foot lot. And if you're interested in the 70 or the 80-foot product, you're gonna see some really tall, really big houses out here. If you're interested in that, Jack's actually gonna take you through an 80-foot product you can buy today that's multi-generational. So if you're interested, hang around, he's gonna talk prices with you.
Finding a house this nice on a lot this big at this price point is next to impossible. And I think the best part of a lot like this as well, it's right across from your future amenities center. But let's go check out and see what kind of house they're putting on this kind of lot. So first off the rip, you can tell this house is massive just by how wide the entryway is. And honestly, this bedroom right here really threw us off as soon as we came in because we thought the wrong thing about it. And I can't wait to show you guys what we got across the hall. But let's check this out real quick because right through this way, you've actually got a half bath powder room right there as soon as you come in the door. And then you've got the master bedroom. And I know you're thinking this is pretty small for a master bedroom. You just said this house is massive. And that's because it's not the only one. And it's actually a second master for generational living. And that's a very important thing in today's day and age where a lot of people are staying at home longer or people have family moving in as they get older. So to have not only a nice sized bedroom, but also a double vanity bathroom built into your house for maybe the in-laws or like if, you know, a son or daughter moves back in with you guys, this is a killer setup for somebody who's trying to start off their life or transition out of a house. It provides a crazy amount of flexibility, or maybe you've just got guests over and they get the luxury treatment whenever they stay at your place. But right across the hall is actually where you're really going to be treating guests, and that's here in this enormous dining room. So you see they have this chandelier set up to where if you have like a huge table, you'd set it up this way, horizontal to the room. But honestly, this room is so big and so wide, you could set up two very nice sized tables side by side and host the most killer party. This would honestly be insane, but you know, knowing me, I'm a dude, so I'd probably turn this into like a game room, maybe a little theater setup because you got all the plugs set up for it and everything, maybe a pool table even. But I really like the way the builder did this over here. So if you do set it up as a dining room, you get tons of natural lighting coming in. That's going to be your garage over there. And actually, this is a 3-car, so you've got another garage right here. And normally this would be wasted space, but they took this and made it into a little alcove so you can have a little area that's protected from the wind and the noise and everything, maybe a little bistro setup. And actually right over here is the kitchen. And the size of this dining room here, you're going to need a big pantry. So don't worry, they didn't disappoint. You're going to want to check that out as well. Coming back this way though, you've actually got 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms in this house. And on top of that, you're not sacrificing the study either. So this could potentially be a 5th bedroom because it does have a closet built into the corner over here. And it's a decent size. This is probably like a 12 by 12, 12 by 13 foot room, not hurting at all for space if you do work from home. You've also got a coat closet over here, as well as a decent sized laundry room. I'm gonna be honest, this is a little small compared to everything else in the house. They chose to skimp on the laundry room, but you're not cramped or anything in there. There's still plenty of room to do laundry if you really need. But this is where most of the space ended up going, this enormous living room. And you've got tons of natural light from those huge windows behind you guys. Tile on the fireplace is a very understated look, but it keeps everything out of the way. So if you've got a walking path here like you do to the master, which we'll get to in a second, you don't have to worry about a mantle or a hearth sticking out, getting in the way, messing up the flow of traffic. And it gives you more flexibility for your furniture, which is really nice because Honestly, it all flows into this beautiful kitchen over here. So you get a second breakfast nook tucked away over here with its own countertop that matches all of what they have here, especially on this enormous island over here. So this is a beautiful place whenever you're cooking to have like your workstation set up. Tons of room so you can leave the KitchenAid mixer, your toaster, your Mr. Coffee, all of that stuff sitting out on the counter and still have plenty of room to work. And on top of that, they went with the dual tone on the cabinetry. And I know you're thinking, if you're going to be cooking as much as a kitchen like this would warrant, you're going to need a lot of food storage. And that's where this comes in over here, because on either side of this kitchen setup, you've actually got a bed and bath. So every bedroom has its own bathroom en suite. And with that many people in the house, you're going to need to be able to feed them. And with a walk-in pantry of this size, you're not going to be hurting for food storage either. I had a pantry like this when I was a kid, and we had 7 people in my family. So I'll tell you right now, it is a very important thing if you've got a lot of mouths to feed, and this house does not disappoint. But you've seen all of the other bedrooms so far, except for the most important one. Let's go check that out, because that is right behind you. As soon as we walk into the master bedroom, it's also huge. You get so much natural lighting. We could honestly turn the lights off in here and it wouldn't feel any darker, because these are like 7-foot windows and you get 5 of them. 3 on the back wall, 1 on either wall here. So you're gonna be well lit for your daytime reading, and you don't even have to leave the bedroom, unless of course you go into the bathroom, because who doesn't love reading at the tub? And you get a nice tub at that. Again, huge windows, tons of natural lighting. They have this really nice quartz style countertop here on both the his and hers vanity, framed mirrors, and frameless shower glass. I took the frame from the shower glass, put it on the mirrors. Looks really nice. Really good sized shower as well, so you're not sacrificing your shower just because you have this nice standalone tub. And again, the theme is huge here. You get a huge closet too. These are like 10-foot ceilings in your closet. This is pretty grand. Lots of built-ins. You're gonna have a ton of room to store all of your wardrobe. Honestly, the prices here have shocked us for houses on these size lots. And speaking of the size of the lots, these things are huge. This is an 80-foot lot. So even though you have 3,300 square foot of house, you're not missing out on backyard space. Covered patio, plenty of room for a pool, trampoline, whatever you want to put back there, and still plenty of room for the dog to run around on top of all of that. Now, this house is going to run you in the mid-8s at the moment, but of course, if you give us a call, we can work some of those numbers around, maybe make that a little bit more appealing for you guys, because that's a decent sized number. But they've got 70 and 80-foot lots, and some of the 70-foot lots will start around the $700,000 mark and can go all the way up to $900,000 if you put in a big house on a 80-foot lot like this. But actually right out back behind this neighborhood is one more neighborhood where you can get something about this size for a little bit more of a cost-effective mark. And if you're interested in that, you're going to have to go ahead and click on this video here. And if this is your first video from Mansfield, we've actually got a playlist set up for you to check out here.